of friends. It's me, Boozy. I'm going to do something kind of different this year. As you can see, there's a slideshow going on because I decided in my infinite wisdom to recreate the entire main street of my town. I say entire, that's not true. 8 city blocks, if you will. If you know me at all, you know I always aim big and then regret it later. That's exactly what happened here. So I wasn't going to go ahead and film like 15 hours of terraforming, so I did this little slideshow for you. You're welcome. So basically, I found a side of my island, and I thought, how hard could it be? It's 8 blocks, right? 8 blocks. So that's a lot. A city block is longer than you think. You can tell in these little slides here. I basically took a photo looking north. I took a photo looking south, kind of back and forth, and I was in the middle, that middle street. And it took hours and hours to terraform, but I was in it too deep. And look how gorgeous that is at night. And obviously it turned out fantastic. So this is me after I got a few blocks done, and I couldn't have been more proud of myself. I got the layout of the street how I wanted it. I got the sidewalk how I wanted it. There's a couple one-way streets. I was super proud of how I did that. I was just impressed with myself all the way around until I hit about, I don't know, hour 20, and I'm like, what was I thinking? But again, I was already too far in. I couldn't stop at that point. But it looks so nice, way nicer than my actual city, which I mean, artistic license, right? But I really, really liked how it turned out and how it was different from my city. Well, clean for one, right? The trees aren't brown for another, which, nice. But it was just the whole scale, just the scale of it. But check it out at night. With all of the lamps on the corners, I put lights in between all the trees in the middle. I put lights at the end of the streets, in the alleys. There are also spotlights, which I wish they would do in our actual alleys. But it's so pretty. And at this point, I wasn't thinking about how daunting it was going to be to put all the buildings up in between these. I also kept the sleeping bags only to the alleys, even though we all know they're all over the downtown. But the sleeping bags are just in the alleys with the boxes and, the dumpsters. Those recycling bins in the alleys were actually a genius touch. It didn't even occur to me till later how many resources I was going to get from all those recycle bins. Good work, Boozy. Didn't even mean it. And here we are. Finally done with 8 city blocks. It's going to blow your mind how long 8 city blocks actually is. So I started on the north end of our main street. Is called Chester. The north end is a one-way highway. So the second street is the one-way highway going the other direction. So that's kind of where I started with the do not enter signs. And obviously, artistic license, that's not exactly what it looks like. That's not exactly what the signs look like, but it works. And look how beautiful these trees down the center divider look. I used the jacaranda trees and alternated with the acacia trees. Am I saying that right? Acacia? And it just turned out beautifully. It took me till spring to finish. I started quite a ways before that. So here we're almost to the halfway point. Almost 4 city blocks. It really was a much larger project than I had anticipated. The good news is, when it's all said and done, it is going to be so stunning, so amazing. I, for one, will be just overwhelmed and impressed with the scope of it when it's all said and done. I'm giving myself this entire year to finish it, and I plan to do in 16 sections. So there's 8 city blocks. So I'm going to do one side of one block and then the other side of the other block. That also seems a little bit overwhelming, but again, I'm giving myself the entire year to do it, so no pressure. So you can see I just kind of used the same pattern all the way down, that beautiful divider down the middle. Now our main street does have this middle divider. It never looks this good, and there's usually people camped out on it. I work downtown, and I would love for it to look like this. If I could drive down this street every day on the way to work, my heart would be so happy. But you know what? In my mind's eye, this is what I'm going to see now. I'm going to see my little Dinkum person running up the street. So down the main street, we have your usual downtown stuff. We even have some lots that are just piles of dirt. And when I get to that spot on the road, I am going to just leave a giant pile of dirt. There are buildings that are locked up and blocked up, and I'm going to leave it like that as well. It's going to be a representation of my town, as it is, but Dinkum style. Okay, so check this out. Are you ready? You want to see what 8 city blocks looks like in Dinkum? I mean, are you kidding me? That is huge. That was way bigger than I had anticipated, but there you are. It's going to be amazing, and I can't wait for you to take this journey with me. Until next time, bye-bye.